The ransom note, the authorities confirmed yesterday that it was the same note sent to all three media outlets, TMZ and two Tucson local television stations. That was a question Jim had been asking from the beginning. And we're told by the FBI, same note, three different recipients. And now Harvey Levin is offering new details of what was in the letter. Here's a little of what he told Aaron Burnett last night, SOT 5.
The Monday deadline is far more consequential. I will say this, that they do mention an Apple Watch, as the FBI said, and they do mention the floodlight, the damaged floodlight. There is something else, and it is the placement of the Apple Watch, which has not come out. And if that placement is accurate, I'm sure that is something that puts this letter on the FBI's radar. They went to great lengths in sending this email to us, in making sure that it stays anonymous. I don't know that the FBI is at all close to figuring out where it came from. They began the letter, I don't think I'm giving anything away here. They began the letter by saying that that Nancy is okay but scared. So they say she is okay, and also that she's aware of the letter and the demands.
That Nancy Guthrie herself is aware of it.
Yes.
So that's very interesting, the part about the watch, guys, because one of the questions at the presser yesterday was, okay, you know, you're saying in this note, they referenced the Apple Watch and something about the floodlights on her home. Well, you can see the floodlights on her home from outside. Like there are pictures right now on Fox News Digital showing them. You know, it's not like a big news thing. And the reports about her Apple Watch hit, I think, on Monday, like right after this story first became national news. So, and the ransom notes, as far as we know, did not go to the media outlets until, we believe, Tuesday. So the question was asked to the FBI, like, you know, why do we believe these are real as opposed to somebody who just heard information in the news and then try to capitalize on this family's pain? And the FBI director seemed like, he didn't say, oh no, there's other stuff in the note. He was like, yeah, that's one of the things we're considering. But now you have Harvey Levin saying, no, there was something specifically about the placement of the Apple Watch, which he suggested only the kidnapper could know if the placement of the watch, as described in this note, were correct. You know, if the person, maybe they said she had it right on her bedside table next to a picture of the one grandchild and a notepad. You know, maybe it was something that truly only the kidnapper could know. So that's one of the reasons why he's taking it very specifically, or very, very seriously. There's one other thing. There's two other things I want to play, but let's just start there. What do you make of Harvey's take on the specifics of the note?
I'd like to know if that note is, how similar is it to the one that the guy got arrested for? So that first and foremost is kind of sparking my interest, because I need to totally rule that guy out for everything else, which law enforcement may have done that already. But the specifics...
They're saying they're not related.
Okay. I mean, look, I think the FBI is doing what they should be doing first and foremost, which is taking it seriously. It doesn't mean it's real. It means they're taking it seriously because they don't know if it's not real. And so, you know, how much do people vary in where they put their watches? Or did they put the watch in a certain place and then mention that? You know, I don't know that. And so I think speculating on the reality or the realism of these notes, even though they sound very compelling, it may not be anything, or it may be, again, Megyn, 41 minutes in a home before you abduct somebody. It just may be the fact that people who were in there know her and know that house, and they're using this as a ruse, and they can say these specific things because they were in there for that long, whether they meant to hurt her or not, or wake her up or not.
Wait, are you suggesting like if they took her life and now they're just play acting that there's a kidnapping underway?
It very well could be. I mean, that would not be the first time that has happened. And it would not be the first time that people have gone into if it was a sexual assault, as we were talking about earlier, I doubt that individual that would go into the house and do a sexual assault of that nature of an elderly woman is going to go down the road of this ruse. So those wouldn't be probably connected. But a family member, we have seen in the past where they have tried to send the police down another road, either blaming somebody or some type of ruse. So I could see that occurring, especially if the death was not intentional.
Let me get to two other sound bites from Harvey describing what's in the note. Here's SOT 6A to Hannity.
I don't know, but the way it's written, they say this is it. It's the only communication, and the police aren't going to be able to help you. They're that bold saying that. There is a phrase in this email that absolutely makes me believe this person who wrote this, and if they're telling the truth, that Nancy is within a radius of the Tucson area, not in Tucson right now, but in a radius. It could be New Mexico. I don't know how far, but I think at least what the authorities have is they've got a radius, and that's something.
There's a little bit more on her allegedly being in the Tucson area where he spoke with Aaron Burnett, SOT 6.
My sense is whoever sent this letter is based in the Tucson area. And I say that because of a reference made in the letter, a sentence in the letter. It feels to me, reading it, that this is Tucson based. And I think that's a fair analysis based on, my discussions today in the office and just reading this letter. So this doesn't feel like this is somebody out of state or out of the country who hatched this plan. It feels more localized.
And then today on his show, he expanded even further, saying why he believes she might be held in the Tucson area if this note's real. Quote, there is a demand of millions in Bitcoin for Nancy's safe return, and there is a time frame for how long it would take Nancy to be returned to Tucson after getting the money. Now, I disagree with Harvey. That does not mean that this person is not overseas. He could be overseas, and this whole thing is a fraud. He's trying to take advantage of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. He could absolutely be sitting someplace in India doing this whole thing. Harvey's suggesting if it's real, then the person's got her near Tucson, because obviously he's suggesting, Chad, that they could have her back very quickly once they get their millions.
Yeah, and I think what it really boils down to, I mean, if we're just using common sense here, it's not like they took her to an airport or even an FBO and got her on a private plane, right? You got to have an ID, unless you got some, janky airfield behind your house in the middle of the desert and threw her on some prop plane. Probably very highly unlikely. So we can probably eliminate that aspect. So where is she? Does this mean she's right in that immediate area? I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that you would risk getting in a car and driving states away with her in the vehicle, risking getting pulled over, risking getting in an accident, anything like that. I call bullshit.
That's a good point. I mean, how seriously should we take these notes, Jim?
All right, let's break it down in the cases that I've worked over the years with some similarity to this one, or certainly I'm familiar with. We'll just focus on the note now. It's either a hoax or it's real. And I'm sure investigators are looking at both possibilities there. If it's a hoax, it could be for three separate reasons. Just an opportunist saying, hey, I'm going to make some quick money off this, like you just described. They're in India, Eastern Europe somewhere. They have nothing to do with the case. If it's, it could be harassment. Just someone, could be some college kids having fun with this. Hey, I know how to, put these emails together. I watched, Criminal Minds back in the day, and they put something together. Or, and this brings us back now to what is the reason for the abduction? For profit, or is it for a revenge taking of this woman and possibly doing bad things to her? And they put this out, as I described yesterday, a POMIC, post-offense manipulation of investigation communication. Lots of syllables. I coined that term because I was seeing these things happening in other cases I worked over the years, certainly back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it's a whole sort of separate set of letters that people were putting together. So is someone sophisticated enough who took Mrs. Guthrie, then put her somewhere, not still alive and not alive, and said, hey, I'm going to become a suspect. I better put this fake email out to two news stations, and TMZ. Why TMZ? I'm not sure, but that's probably what the person watches. And that's a clue, too, about who this person is. So, so the investigators have to handle this as being real. I've never said they shouldn't, but they also have to consider other options here.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There is a never-ending list of reasons that gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold, so you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.